Well, I can see why you're so curious.
He's fascinating, right? A Talmudist, but also like a philosopher. We don't see that every day.
Not every day, no.
All right, so let's try to unpack some of his big ideas, see how they shaped Orthodox thought, especially, in the U.S. Ready for a deep dive?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, so first things first, I guess. Background, right? Where'd he come from, this whole intellectual journey?
Right, so Soloveitchik, he came from like a super traditional Lithuanian rabbinic family, and that meant growing up with the Brisker method of Talmud study. It's this very, very analytical, conceptual approach, really rigorous.
Okay, so that's like one side of the coin.
Exactly. But then you have this other side. He goes and gets a doctorate in philosophy in Berlin. We're talking neo-Kantianism, exposure to existentialism, the whole shebang.
Wild, right. That's a huge leap. So how did he bring those two worlds together? Because they seem pretty different, Talmud and then existentialism.
It's this amazing tension, and it's key to his whole project. And his book, Halakhic Man, is where he really lays it all out. Imagine, if you will, a worldview where Jewish law, halakha, is not just a bunch of rules, but like the lens through which you see and experience everything. That's Halakhic Man, his philosophical ideal.
So it's not just like what you do or don't do, it's like how you think, how you feel, how you exist in the world.
Exactly. And he contrasts this, right, with Homo religiosus, who's all about emotion, and cognitive man, who's just intellect. Halakhic Man is this fusion.
But wouldn't that create some, inner conflict to live by halakha all the time?
Totally. And Soloveitchik, he dives into that. There's this tension within Halakhic Man between intellect and emotion, between mastery of the world and submission to God. It's all playing out within the structure of halakha.
Interesting. Now, we also got to talk about The Lonely Man of Faith. Just the title is whoa, deep stuff here.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. So in this one, he's looking at those two creation stories in Genesis. And he comes up with these two Adams. Adam of Mass, the guy who's all about achievement and conquering the world. And then Adam II, focused on covenant and humility.
Adam 1 and Adam 2. Got it.
And this clash between the two Adams inside each of us, plus this deep awareness of a unique relationship with God. That's where ontological loneliness comes in. This fundamental experience of being human, being faithful, heavy stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. And didn't he also write The Halakhic Mind? Something about halakha as a way of thinking.
Yeah. That one's all about the epistemology of Jewish law, how halakha is its own system of knowledge and understanding.
Thinking all this, it's he's talking to modern thought, right? Existentialism, phenomenology, all these big ideas were floating around at the time.
Exactly. And you can see the connections. Loneliness, the search for meaning, that's classic existentialism. Then there's phenomenology. He's focused on lived religious experience, how faith actually feels. And his emphasis on structure and reason in halakha, that goes back to his neo-Kantian training.
It's all connected. All right, so huge question. How did all this impact modern orthodoxy as we know it today?
Well, his ideas, they really resonated, especially because of his role at Yeshiva University, ordained thousands of rabbis spreading his thought.
Wow.
And he was a huge champion of Torah Umada, this idea of integrating Torah study with secular knowledge. Think Maimonides' school, an early example, putting his ideas into practice.
Right, bringing the secular world into the religious one.
Exactly. And, he didn't shy away from modern issues either, like the whole science versus religion thing. He argued that they work on different levels based on different assumptions. So conflict isn't automatic. Plus, he grappled with secularism, with individualism. He saw the importance of Jewish identity, of being both stranger and neighbor in the modern world. Pretty relevant today, right?
For sure. And even though he's, this giant figure, people are still debating his ideas.
Oh, yeah, totally. How conservative he was in his actual halakhic rulings.
Yeah.
And there are different interpretations of his Zionism and even exactly what he meant by Torah Umada. It's an ongoing discussion.
So much to unpack. What would you say is the main takeaway?
I think at the core, Rabbi Soloveitchik gave us this powerful framework for living a religious life in the modern world. His work, it helps us make sense of faith, of identity, even today.
Absolutely. So for you listening out there, think about this. How do you relate to that tension Soloveitchik talked about? That pull between wanting to achieve, to master the world, and that yearning for spiritual connection. It's something we all deal with, right? Anyway, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been a real trip.
My pleasure.